Gareth, welcome to the Sports Editor. It's so good to have you, and we can chat about hockey and your career and all the happenings in the world of hockey.
Thanks very much. I'm really keen to chat.
Yeah, good stuff. Gareth, since 2014, you've been the assistant coach to SA Hockey Men, and it's often behind the scenes work that gets you to where you are now. Have you enjoyed the journey, where it's led you to?
Yeah, very much so. I've been coaching. I worked it out the other day. This is my 27th year. So, you could say I've kind of risen through the ranks and paid my dues.
Absolutely.
And I feel like all the experience and all the learnings that I've gained over a number of years have kind of led to where I am today.
Definitely. And it's been a year since your appointment as SA hockey coach. Generally speaking, has it been a year you anticipated? And are you happy with the direction hockey has gone in this year?
It's actually hard to believe it's already been a year, but it's been a roller coaster. There's so much kind of work that goes into the setup that you don't really, you kind of have an idea about it, but you don't really understand it until you're the head coach. So that's been a really steep learning curve. But in terms of our progress and in terms of where we've managed to go with the team, obviously Olympic disappointment aside, I can't be happier. The guys have really risen to the occasions that have come our way, and people have worked really hard and have shown as a playing group. There's just been such kind of positivity, which has been amazing.
Yeah, definitely. That's good. And you just mentioned the Olympic Games there, and I'm pretty sure you've chatted about this on a number of occasions. But it's obviously an event that you love. But has the delay caused a bit of frustration, perhaps, at all?
Look, I think it has. I think obviously what it's probably done is create a lot of anxiety among the playing group, because lots of anticipation and obviously the huge thrill of knowing that you'd qualified, which for the guys was really, really special. Yeah. And there were a lot of players involved in that, so there was already kind of thoughts about who was going to be selected and who was going to be the lucky group to go.
Yes.
And a lot of competition, which for me was brilliant. So I think anxiety is the main word. I also just think frustration and then, perhaps a little worry for the guys who are kind of getting long in the tooth, wondering what does an extra year mean in their lives?
Yeah.
What does an extra year mean for players who have professional careers? Are they going to be able to carry on working? So that's a difficult one for them. But again, something that we've kind of just had to be philosophical about and get our heads around.
Definitely. Yeah, it's very, very interesting times. And you're going to picture just sort of fast-forwarding even more into the future. We've obviously got the 2022 Hockey World Cup. Yeah, it's a long way away. But is that a competition you sort of already have your eye on and slowly preparing towards?
Yeah, we had a conversation the other day with my management group, and we worked out that basically from January 2021 until January 2023, which is actually when the World Cup is going to take place, is it's a 2-year very congested period in terms of the amount of competition that we're going to be fitting into that time. So that's the kind of a culmination for me, because that'll be where my kind of current contract runs until.
Oh, wow.
So yes, I guess for me, from a personal point of view, that would be a good place to leave the team if that's how it works out, but also something to build up to over that period of time, and a hell of a lot of competition between now and then.
Definitely, yeah. I've just been talking to some of the indoor guys as well, and it's, you got that competition happening as well. Some guys double up, play indoor and outdoor, so yeah, it's going to be hectic times, but it's good. It's good to be busy, I guess.
Yeah, it is, and it's good for me to have players who are getting indoor exposure as well. I think a lot of players are using that as an opportunity to kind of cut their teeth at international level. But again, I have an indoor background myself, and it's such a good game, and there's so many positive overlaps between the two. So it's good for me, and I think if I can potentially be taking a couple of players to the Olympics who have just had a recent indoor World Cup under their belt, that can only be favourable.
Absolutely, that's absolutely brilliant. But Gareth, I just want to touch on a thought that I have here. We're talking about the whole lot of teams. An SA hockey team, would something like that ever be possible?
It's actually funny you should mention it, because we actually ran an SAA side in January.
Okay.
For the first time in several years, and it was a really positive experience. It just exposed just that many more players in the squad to some really good hockey, and allowed us to train as a really big group and to be competitive with each other. So it's very important, and it is an important kind of bridging space for us, for some younger players or players we see as having future potential. So yeah, we ran it in January, and I intend for it to be a part of my program moving forward.
Well, that's absolutely brilliant, because if you look at it, cricket have an SAA side that I also feel doesn't do enough. Rugby, they've got their setup there, and I just think, in terms of exposure and just giving people something, or players to give you something more to aim at, because they might think, well, there's only one layer, but if you sort of got a second layer, so to say, it just encourages them even more to keep trying that much more. I don't know, do you feel the same?
I do. I mean, I, as a developing coach, coached the South African A team several years ago. So there's many advantages to it, and I think obviously that extra kind of carrot in terms of something to aim for, and to allow us to run a big squad. And I think in the South African setup, a big squad is important for us, and that gives opportunity for those players to play and train, gives coaches and managers the opportunity to be involved at a national level or a level above IPT, and it's something that I really believe in.
No, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Because it just seems, being in the school environment, there seems to be a bit more focus on school hockey, on players playing hockey at school. There's more growth there. Do you sense that there's also been a bit more focus on school level and more structure and support, so to say?
I think that there's a level of professionalization that's happening in school sport.
Okay.
And I don't necessarily mean that players are being bought and sold, or that they're making a living. Just more from the focus in terms of full-time staff working specifically on sports, and hockey is obviously one of them. So, the school focus is increasing, and I think that that was probably always the case in terms of the big boys and girls schools, but now it's filtering down into the co-ed schools more, and I think more facilities, more full-time staff. It's just increasing the profile and increasing the outputs that the kids are getting, and I think that's it's growing the base and making the base, the broad end of the base, that much more accomplished in terms of hockey that's being played, which I think is a really good thing.
Oh no, absolutely. It's so critical. Talking about schools, you're at St. John's, a really fantastic school. Is it a partnership that works well in the sense that you can grow the program at the school and SA Hockey at the same time? There obviously must be a good relationship there.
There is, and I mean, we need to be honest here. The national setup is completely amateur, and I'm completely unpaid.
Sure.
So I need to still make a living, and this is a way of being able to do that.
Yes.
The relationship, and St. John's is a fantastic place to work. It's all of those high level independent schools. They have their traditions and they have their focus on academics, but they take their sport very seriously as well. And I'm allowed to kind of help grow the program. We've been very successful. We've got a really good group of coaches, and it does work both ways. There's a level of kind of profile sharing which is valuable, and I'm very grateful that St. John's affords me the opportunity to work at national level, and it's a place where I learn every day. I've got a great leadership group that I work with at St. John's, and I'm very lucky to be there.
No, that's brilliant. And they just shocked me a bit by the one statement, because I've just got some stats here. If you look at the Africa Cup of Nations, since 1993. South Africa has qualified for everyone and come first. I'm pretty sure I've got that right. And obviously you've qualified for 2021. Then you look at the World Cup. Since 1994, we've been at every single World Cup except for 1998. Now, it's not like South Africa's not doing something for hockey, if you know what I'm trying to say. We're competing at the high events. So, I mean, what else must you do to try and show that, you're doing something right here? Because, again, I've got to be careful what I say. There's certain sport codes where are competing, getting paid, and are just not performing. Yet you guys are, like I say, number one ranked here, Africa Cup of Nations since 1993. What more must you do?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. I think the pot of sponsorship money and revenue from sport is just not that big in South Africa, and obviously the top three sports take the Lions, probably more than the Lions' share of it, perhaps even understandably. So it's just a challenge. I actually think, we just need to continue to be performing and to actually, as much as we can go to a World Cup and we can compete and hold our head up high. I still think we need to take another level of results out of those tournaments.
Oh, right.
And that's something that we're really focused on doing is being more consistently competitive. So that turns into more ranking points, and that turns into more opportunities to play against the best teams in the world. But I do kind of hope that people do notice, and people perhaps in the corporate sector or people in the hockey community who have the resources to help us do notice that we are making progress, and that we really are moving forward in every respect, and that will lead to greater financial stability in the long run.
No, that's brilliant. That's good, yeah. Well, sorry, I do hope it does go well for you guys, because I know it's a lot of work. There's always dreams, goals, and ambitions, and all the players want to do well. So yeah, it's just nice if you feel that you've been backed. You know what I'm trying to say? Instead of just saying, well, we hope we do well and let's make the best of it. But yeah, it's nice to feel that you got people behind you supporting you. Yeah,
absolutely. I think we get a good vibe from the hockey community, and I think there's a lot of positivity at the moment from the playing group and also from our supporters. I do think I think I would be remiss if I didn't say that we do need financial support, and if people are available or willing, we have an environment that will benefit from support like that.
Yes.
So yeah, we just want to keep building on that positivity. I think opportunities are going to present themselves in the next 2 years. And we're going to keep growing, and I hope that people will be along to support us.
Absolutely. Sure. Well, that's good. We've got lots to look forward to. I would say positive vibe there. Garreth, so you're a busy man. I mean, you've managed to coach UJ, SA Under-21, St. John's. How do you find the balance that you do to be so busy and still keep going?
I can say that it's difficult at times. You can just ask my wife. But I need the stimulation of competition, and I need the exposure to the coaching. So it's been part of my process, and I've needed it to grow. So I've been grateful for all the opportunities. At the moment, I had a really amazing time at UJ, and I was very successful there, and I got a chance to coach very good players. So that was a key part of my development. But I can say now, having stepped down from UJ at the end of last year, I'm not sure I would have been able to juggle all three positions effectively in this Olympic phase that we're going into now. So it is difficult. It's lots of late nights, it's lots of irregular hours, and it does wear on you. It's quite stressful. But I do love the thrill of competition, so that was always something to keep me motivated and keep me going.
And then, on the flip side, is it because we may be a bit short of people who are willing to get stuck in like you, or are you just simply passionate?
No, look, I think we're growing our base in terms of coaching talent and knowledge. That you can see that every day. I think it was just a question of two things: kind of a pragmatic decision from a financial point of view for myself, and also just for a need for that exposure. So I don't think it's due to a lack of talent out there. I think I was just putting my hand up and adding value in those environments, and that's why I kept going, doing all three things for so long.
Sure. Well, that's absolutely brilliant. Now, I saw something quite interesting. Ben Fogel, am I right in saying he gave SA Hockey a bit of a shout out?
Yeah, he did. We during this lockdown, the one thing that's really kind of almost been an advantage, if you want to look for one in all these clouds to find a silver lining, is that with a lot of collaboration and a lot of sharing and a lot of chatting with people that perhaps you wouldn't normally have taken the time to reach out to. So with our national team, every week we've been having a fairly lengthy Zoom conversation, and we've invited a a number of guest speakers to come on and share experiences and help us in our cultural growth. And we were lucky enough that Ben was one of those guys. Our captain, Tim, reached out to him, and he said yes, and he gave us a very, very interesting 40-minute conversation. So, really cool. And the guys are absolutely blown away by him. I mean, he's obviously such a professional in terms of his speaking skills, and he was really, really good and really great to listen to and to learn from.
Sure, that's absolutely amazing. So good. And Gareth, if we sort of look at, and obviously I don't know if we can write this year off, but if you look back at it and you say, you know what, it is like almost like a checklist, and you say, yes, we tick that box, is there one more box you would like to tick this year?
Look, I think the one box we all would like to tick is to see a return to some kind of hockey competition. We are very much up in the air in terms of, are we going to have a provincial tournament?
Right.
What is that going to impact us in terms of national squad selection? You know, we're actually scheduled to play against Chile in a test series in September. And I mean, again, it's just, I would love to be back to that, and we can only hope. I'm not going to get my hopes up. I'm not going to build anxiety in my playing squad by kind of pushing for something that we don't know we can achieve yet. In terms of ticking a box, I think to gain a new sponsor and to gain financial support would be absolutely unbelievable. But the other box that we're starting to tick, which we are in control of, is our cultural box. And we've spent so much time together online, kind of together apart, and we've done such good work that for me to have the team in a better place culturally by the end of this year would be something that I'd be really, really happy about.
No, definitely, and that's so good to hear, because it's obviously it is a big driving force behind a lot of sports, especially in this country, and obviously overseas. I hear stories of guys, they go to certain stadiums and it's just hockey Astros everywhere, and it's just this buzz of hockey, and that's absolutely brilliant. If we could get to that stage one day. Yeah,
I think if you go down to certain Astros around the country on a Saturday morning, or for a school fixture or some of the bigger club fixtures, you'll see an amazing vibe. I think we have the potential in South Africa to have a great club culture. There's already a little bit of it around, but I think it could be grown, and it would be wonderful to see that, and to kind of, and perhaps what this kind of breakdown in our normal societal structure will do is it'll remind people how valuable it is to get out and do recreational sport and to spend time with people. So, let's hope. You never know what this will bring about, and perhaps that will be one of the things that it does do is kind of reignite a love for club sport and club hockey.
Yeah, no, that's true. Gareth, it's been absolutely fantastic to chat to you. I know you're a busy man, you've got lots to get to, so just want to thank you for your time. It's been great to chat, and it'll be nice to catch up again, and especially when a bit more decisions are made, and I see they're sort of moving towards us, allowing us to train now. They're sort of in the air that we're allowed to non-contact training, so it looks like you guys might be back up running sooner than you think.
Yeah, I think slowly but surely in level 3 we're going to get doing some individual stuff out on the turf, and that'll be good for us. Obviously, we're looking to be compliant and safe and make sure that everything is done in society and the players' best interests. But it looks like slowly we're making some progress there, and we're busy with our plans behind the scenes. And thanks for the chat. It's been great, and I hope to catch up with you again in the future. Yeah, definitely, and it's nice because I think just awareness is important. I know sometimes there's competition among sports, but I'm a sports fan, so I wish everyone could do well, and we just get the sport in the country moving forward, because then everyone benefits. So yeah, man, supporting you guys all the way, and I really hope everything goes well. Brilliant. Thanks very much. Thanks, Gareth. All the best, my man. You too. Cheers. Thanks, man. Cheers. Bye.